Pokemon finally released more information about Pokemon Legends ZA, and I am very excited to get into it. This morning, they released the box art, and we have a lot of details to kind of analyze, so let's get into it. Welcome to the Game Corner. I'm Candy, and I'm really excited about Pokemon Legends ZA. So, initially, when we look at this box art, I think it's got to be one of the most detailed box arts we've had in the past many years. I looked at a couple of the old Pokemon box arts, and usually it's, the box art Pokemon, as a lot of the community calls it. It's usually the legendary of that region. For Sword and Shield, for example, we have the two Wolf legendaries, for X and Y, the Life and Death legendaries, so on and so forth. The only one where it wasn't a legendary would be Pokemon Legends Arceus, where, we have a picture of the two main characters in Hisui. So I think Pokemon Legends is kind of moving away from this this consistency of having the legendary Pokemon on the box art, which also makes sense because although they're all mainline games, Pokemon Legends does steer away from the usual structure that we have in these other games. So Pokemon Legends EA, again, just came out with this box art. A lot of really cool things to kind of analyze. So first, I'll give my opinions, I'll give my initial thoughts, and then we can go into more of the detailed thoughts and the analysis. So first and foremost, again, I think this is one of the most detailed box arts. I also think it's the prettiest. So I love city nighttime vibes as someone who lives in New York City. So this is very, very perfect for me. I absolutely love how cool this looks. You have the serenity of the nighttime, but also the chaos of, so much going on, especially in a box art. I think this is very chaotic. Although I love the art, when I woke up and I saw this picture, I didn't know it was the box art. I really liked it, and then I realized it was the box art, and I was a little iffy. And that's because I think it is very chaotic to be a box art. If we go look at how it looks on the actual packaging, this is how it would look if you get the game. If you get the physical game, you get the box, and this is how it would look. Now, it took a little bit of time to warm up to me, so at the end of this day, so a couple hours I guess, at the end of this day, I do like it. Though I think at first, the reason why I didn't like it, again with the chaos, is also it was very unexpected. It was very different than what we're used to, right? So going back into the overall art, I think it's really cool. I love how detailed it is. I'm sure I brought that up multiple times. If we compare this to Pokemon Legends Arceus, we can see a lot of difference in terms of the quality, I guess. Pokemon Legends Arceus, it is one of the more complex box arts than the other mainline games. However, compared to Pokemon Legends ZA, I would definitely say that Pokemon Legends Arceus is leans into the more simpler vibes, I guess. The most of the box art is taken up by the title itself, whereas in Pokemon Legends ZA, the title is smaller and more of the emphasis is on what is going on, which I think will play a big role in what I'm going to talk about later. So again, with the nighttime vibes, the nighttime is very important because in the latest teaser / trailer we've seen, nighttime is when the ZA Royale zones come up, and that's going to be, at least from what we know so far, the brunt of the gameplay, where you have to rank up from Z to A during these nighttime battles and these battle zones, right? So it makes sense that they, the box art, the most important art, would be taking place during the nighttime. We can also see the main protagonists, both of them. We can see the starters, Tepig, Totodile, and Chikorita. Chikorita's going in there. She is not scared. She's ready to fight, and I love that. And we also see existing megas. Emphasis on the existing. I am very surprised that we have not seen new megas, especially in the box art, because knowing that this is going to be a game set in Kalos and there's so much emphasis on Mega Evolution, I thought by now we'd get new megas, at least in the box art. So it's surprising that they're going to highlight Mega Evolutions that we've seen already. However, I still think the megas that they chose is cool. I mean, Mega Gardevoir is a classic. Come on, like you have to have you have to have her everywhere. Mega Lucario as well. That is even more of a classic. It's so iconic at this point. Um, and the Mega Absol there, that kind of reminds me of the Pokemon X and Y games itself. So I played as Serena, and my rival was Caleb. I think that's how you say his name. And his Mega Evolution Pokemon was an Absol. Now I don't know how it is the other way around, but that's something that, you know, that's what it reminded me of. To go more into the detailed thoughts and the little hidden details that kind of put everywhere. I mean, the first foremost one would be Emma. Let me switch tabs here. We see Emma. That is crazy. For those of you who don't know, Emma, we meet her during a Pokemon X and Y, basically the post game, where you have a quest with Looker, and you go on this quest, you know, solving crime in the city, which I think is really fun and realistic. If you know, a game set in the city, so it would mean a lot if they did tie that in. I'm assuming they are tying it in Pokemon Legends CA. And basically, you meet this girl named Emma, who I believe is homeless, and she's on the streets and the alleyways of Lumio City. Looker takes her in. She starts working for Looker, starts working with us, and there is this story surrounding this kind of like mega suit, I would say. And the suited person is kind of going around and hurting people, stealing Pokemon or whatever. I don't remember much of it. I think it's because of Team Flare, but then we soon to realize that Emma was in the suit and she was being controlled by the suit. So the quest ends off well with Looker leaving and giving the place to Emma, I believe. So Emma was taking care of the Looker Bureau after the game ends. So, you know, a lot of people were theorizing that we would see Emma again in Pokemon Legends ZA, especially since they showed it in the teasers. So finally seeing her design is really cool. Some things I would like to note is that under her little cropped trench coat, I would say, by the way, the trench coat is cute as fuck. Under the cropped trench coat, I think you can see the suit. I'm pretty sure that looks like her suit. Let's search it up actually. Pokemon X and Y Emma suit. It looks so much like her suit. Here we go. The black and like kind of like the orange, what is it, trim or highlights, I would say, right? It looks like she's still wearing that. So I wonder how that is gonna play a role. If this plays a big role in the story of Pokemon Legends ZA, I'm honestly quite hyped. I love that Pokemon is kind of leaning into these like short and small little tidbits that they've left around throughout the years and kind of taking these Pokemon Legends games and putting that under a magnifying glass. With Pokemon Legends Arceus, I guess the tidbit would be like this idea that in the past, Pokemon were thought to be scary and it was hard to control them, and kind of like how did we get to the point where now they are our friends, or we can control them, or, you know, work with them, right? So Pokemon Legends Arceus kind of went into that, and Pokemon Legends ZA is going into this even more specific piece of lore that we got like what, 12-13 years ago from the Kalos region. I think that's really cool. So I'm very excited to see what they do with Emma. I'm surprised though that they didn't put Esper or Meowstic in this because they were her companion. So I'm surprised that Esper is not in the box art, and instead Pikachu and Mega Lucario is. I didn't even know she had a Lucario. Maybe I'm just forgetting what Pokemon she battled with back then. But some other details to note are kind of like the not hidden, but smaller Pokemon they put everywhere. Like we got Bunnelby. Bunnelby is a Kalos classic. Helioptile, or is that Helioptile. Something to note is both of these were owned by Clement in the anime, so it's kind of cool little detail. We have 2 Fletchling over there. I saw a Mega Steelix up here, which I think is so freaking cool. I absolutely adore Steelix's mega design. I think it's really sick. We have a Mega Salamence way up flying up there. I think it'd be really cool if while you're playing the game you could see random mega Pokemon just like flying around. Um, Over here we have a satellite that kind of reminds me of Claydol. Um, I wonder if that's a hint for a Mega Evolution potentially. I don't know. We also have a hidden and mysterious figure over here. Don't really know what that's about, and it's really hard to see it. So that's something to keep in mind. Um, Down here we have a Swirlix and Aromatisse. Again, classic fairy type calls Pokemon. Um, and most important, we also have a ghost type Pokemon here. I kind of forgot the name of that one though. Oops. Is it Shuppet? I think it is. Anyway, Squishy? Hello? This is a big thing because we have seen Zygarde cores in the past, especially in the trailers. We saw the Zygarde, not the core, sorry, the Zygarde cell. I think this might be our first look at a Zygarde core in the game. I might be wrong, but I feel like it is. And with it especially being the red core, now we know that Pokemon games don't usually have a tie-in with the anime, but to see Squishy here feels very heartwarming because again, as an avid lover of Pokemon XYZ and Pokemon XY anime, holy shit. I really wonder if they're gonna give us lore about Squishy and Bonnie and make references to the whole gang. I wonder if this is when they're gonna tie in the anime, or at least if it's not a direct connection where it's in the same universe, at least give us something where, okay, we know that in the games, we know that Bonnie made a connection with Squishy. We know that, you know, Clement, Bonnie, Serena went out on some type of journey together, you know? I think that would be really cool. Another thing of note here is that we see the hands of, I'm assuming, Urbane or Tawny, because when you compare their outfits, their arm does look like that. With the trench coat or the coat, it looks really menacing. I might just be over analyzing this, but I think that's something to note. Urbane and Tawny might be evil. I'm not sure, but I'm gonna go out here and say that. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'll be very wrong, but the way that hand is crooked, I don't like it. So I have my suspicions about that. Another small detail, Furfro. We see a Furfro here. I wonder if we're going to be able to cut the hair and customize our Furfro in this game as well. Because I don't know if I've seen that outfit before for a Furfro. So that might be a different outfit. Some other things of note. This area where the box art is, I guess, taking place is notable because I believe that this is where we first enter in the first teaser/trailer of Pokemon Legends EA. If you watch the first trailer, this is where you come in. I think this is where the train station is, or whatever. I don't know if it was a train station or, let's see. This is kind of the area where you first walk in, right here. This area is where you first walk in, and it's being shown in the box art. So this is something I wanted to point out. I don't really know what the significance is. Maybe it's where it all begins, or maybe there's something more that we'll find out during the game. But yeah, I wanted to make this quick video because I'm very excited and I'm very happy that, you know, they're finally giving us more. We've been waiting for a month. I mean, I'm okay with waiting. I like surprises when it comes to things that I really like, so I don't mind the wait, but we finally got some box art. We have a Pokemon Presents coming up in 2 months. They announced it very early, so I wonder what that means. I feel like we're going to get a lot of information then. But as of right now, all we know is that Pokemon Legends EA will arrive October 16th, 2025. Something of note, that is exactly 13 years after Pokemon X and Y Pokemon XY release. Pokemon XY came out October, I think 12 or 13 of 20. Oh my god, I don't know my dates. 2013, I believe. But yeah, that's something to note. So I'm very excited to go along this PLZA journey with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this really quick, very informal video. Keep it sweet like candy, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.